If you guys think I did something, arrest me and haul me in, because I didn't.
I never asked that.
He said I did.
Well,
At that interview. Right to me. I know you did something to that woman.
That's the defendant, Curly Prokopovitz, caught on video there denying. I mean, and isn't that what an innocent person would do? Like if you're being accused of murder, right, and somebody accused you, you'd probably be a little angry and start to scream at him. So I don't know, is that a good moment for Curly Prokopovitz? Maybe, maybe not, but the jury got to see it today. Welcome back, folks. A lot happened inside that Wisconsin courtroom today, including some testimony from the lead investigator who was back on the stand. And talking about a confession by the defendant, but a confession about lying, okay? Not a confession to murder, but a confession about lying. There's a subtle difference here. Let's take a listen.
Did you have cause to conduct an interview of Kathy Friday on May 8th of 2019 where she admitted that she had testified in court and she had lied under oath?
I did.
Furthermore, did you take a statement from the defendant, Jim Prokopovitz, on May 8th, 2019, where he indicated that the truth is that he did lie to police for years in connection with this investigation?
That is correct.
So despite these interviews that you conducted with the defendant, he ultimately gave a statement confessing to lies, some lies, in the investigation into his wife's disappearance.
That is correct.
All right, it's a little confusing, I admit. That's why we have Court TV legal correspondent Chanley Painter joining us from inside that majestic courthouse in Green Bay, Wisconsin tonight. All right, Chanley, you've got to explain the lies, give us some context and significance of what this all means.
Which lie, Vinnie? That's the question. You are correct. But it's clear the prosecution's case in chief is focusing on the basis for the other charges against Jim Prokopovitz. Not only is he charged with intentional homicide of his wife, Victoria, but he's also charged with obstructing officers, a conspiracy count to commit perjury with his girlfriend, Kathy Friday, and a perjury count before the court. So this prosecution is having to prove a big lie about how he met Kathy Friday after his wife disappeared, and they stuck to this story for a long time. In fact, let's listen to one of the interviews played this afternoon from November 2016. It's the basis of count 2 against Jim Prokopovitz.
And then you ended up at the casino, and that's where you...
casino, spent some money and ran into her. And
How many girlfriends was she with? Do you remember?
she was there by herself, I think.
At the casino she was?
Yeah. She never said nothing. You know, I don't know. I just happened to run into her, and we talked for a little while, and if she was with somebody, I don't even know what she was.
Sure. So tell me then, so you decide, you've been to casinos before, just not that one?
Not that one.
So that's where you ended up?
That's where I ended up.
And then just walk me through again the casino part.
Walked into the casinos, walking around looking for a machine to play, and I thought I recognized her. And I walked up and I said, "You look familiar." And at first she didn't recognize me, and then she did. But
Been a long time, like 20 years or what?
Almost 30 years.
30 years, yeah, of course. I wouldn't recognize me either.
You know, I mean, she just looked familiar.
Right. Yep.
Well, even you don't see somebody for 20 years, you think, God, that guy looks familiar. That lady looks, you know, just something. That's all I can say.
Yep.
So So that actually was from August 2016, the basis of obstructing an officer by telling that story. Now, this was a story that was maintained. So this afternoon, the recording from December 2015 was played, where him and both Kathy tell the story of meeting at the casino. Then this one in August 2016 and another one from November 2016. And we also heard Vinnie from family members, the children of both Jim and Kathy, who say that they were told that they just ran into each other in June 2013 at this casino. Well, I'm going to do a little spoiler alert from what we're going to hear tomorrow in the prosecution's case, and that is that was all a lie, because they actually have signed statements saying no, they didn't just happen to run into each other at the casino in 2013, that he actually called her on her birthday. They met a week later at a truck stop, rented a hotel room, all that involved, and that's what started their relationship back then.
Interesting. Well, there's one I'm not a body language expert, but a telltale sign of when you're trying to make something up is when you're asked a question and you go, that's like, I got to buy some time.
And the next time you ask me a question.
I've got to take a little time and figure out an answer to this one. It's interesting now. So he could be convicted for just lying and obstructing. Like the jury, can't be convinced beyond a reasonable doubt because of some of the obstacles prosecutors have in the murder case. He could be convicted of this. Would that be enough to hold him in behind bars for any significant amount of time?
Yeah, there is a significant amount of time. They are felonies, perjury before a court, for example. There was a John Doe hearing in 2019, May of 2019, where he appeared before a court, gave sworn testimony, and told this story under oath, and that is the perjury count in the court. And then he also admits, as well as Kathy Friday, that they talked about this lie over the years, that they planned what they were going to say during that John Doe hearing, and that's the conspiracy to commit perjury count. And of course, obstruction here is from that 2016 interview that we just played, but that's not the only lie that the investigator on the stand this afternoon showed before the jury. The other had to do with the ride-along. They showed video of the defendant driving the officers on the route that he took the day that he reported Victoria missing. And even on the stand, they said, we followed up on this route. We got surveillance camera from this gas station, and his truck never passes by that. So here the jury knows that's untrue, but yet they're watching him on video acting like it's the truth, and he's telling the investigators that story to their face in that video. So it was definitely effective, and during this time the jurors were engaged, taking notes. The screen's really close to the jury box. They could hear everything well, they could see everything well this afternoon in the courtroom.
And to me, for the murder count, that's a much more important lie. Lying about when you rekindled or reconnected, I can see them explaining that because it's embarrassing to the family and it was just too soon and we knew the way the kids would react to it, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Like I understand what they could argue there. But about searching for his missing wife, that's a whole different ballgame. So for me, I think that will help on the murder charge even more than the lying about the rekindling. But the other problem he has, and we've got some testimony I want to play from Jason Friday, who is his girlfriend Kathy Friday's son, is about this timeline. And to me, that's the timeline of when they actually connected. That now gets us to potential motive. Let's listen to the testimony of Jason Friday. Again, this is Kathy Friday's son. Kathy Friday is the woman who unfortunately took her own life. But she is the one who got involved with Prokopovitz, and it's unclear if it was before or after Prokopovitz's wife, Victoria, went missing. Let's listen.
Did she indicate that it had begun in the beginning of 2013?
She told me that I can't remember, it was either or. I can't remember if it was either she called him or he called her. And that she told me that they talked about Mars passing away and stuff. So that's about the earliest I remember hearing something about Jim.
Okay. And again, the time frame. Now, Marv passed away in November of 2012.
Correct.
When your mom told you about when their relationship started, Did she indicate it was the beginning of 2013?
Yeah, it was the beginning.
And had you indicated that you believed that then was around January of 2013?
If I remember right.
All right, Chanley, January 2013, where does that put us in the timeline of when Victoria goes missing?
Yeah, this was huge for the prosecution this morning. Finally, witness after witness were waiting to see this motive because before this morning, the testimony showed that Jim Prokopovitz and Kathy Friday got together weeks after his wife Victoria disappeared. Well, the prosecution wants the jury to believe that that was the motive before her son Jason offers that piece of testimony saying that actually his mom told him that she started talking to Jim Prokopovitz in early 2013. So that's a huge point. And of course, on cross-examination, the attorney tried to poke holes in the certainty of Jason's statements. Let's listen.
In 2013, the beginning of 2013, you just testified that you believe that your mom and Jim started dating at the beginning of 2013, sometime in January. Is that right?
Not dating.
Not dating.
Not that they were talking.
They were talking at the beginning of 2013.
Yeah.
What proof do you have that they were talking in 2013?
Because I remember my mother telling me that Jim called her, or she called him. I can't remember which way it went, but she said that they had a conversation about Marv, that Marv passed away.
Do you know if that conversation actually happened in May of 2013?
I know I heard that they talked again in May.
So the defense attorney also pointing to phone records that we heard yesterday from the cell phone analyst, Vinnie, and I know these jurors were taking notes yesterday, so maybe they put this together too, but that the defense attorney said, isn't it true that on your mother's cell phone, the first time that she talked to Jim Prokopovitz was May 19th, 2013, and there wasn't anything before? Well, of course, Jason Friday wasn't privy to those cell phone records, so it didn't make a lot of headway there. But again, this defense trying to poke holes in all of these timelines of when this motive may have occurred.
Yeah, to me, we're still too much gray area here to get beyond a reasonable doubt. But you know, they can bring it all together at the end of the case and in closing arguments. In the meantime, what is in store for tomorrow?
Well, tomorrow we're going to see the end of the prosecution's case in chief. Now, the lead detective, Sergeant Arnstein, is still on the stand. He'll be under cross-examination tomorrow morning. The defense saying that may be pretty lengthy. He is one of the lead investigators. But after him, we're going to hear from the other lead investigator, the special agent, also sitting up there with the prosecution at their counsel table to testify. And one more short witness, according to the prosecution. They're going to probably introduce some transcripts from that John Doe hearing I mentioned in 2019, again, going to the perjury counts, the other counts against Jim Prokopovitz tomorrow. But we could start hearing from witnesses from the defense tomorrow afternoon, Vinnie.
All right, Chanley Painter live in Green Bay, Wisconsin tonight. What a beautiful courthouse. Thank you so much, Chanley.
Thanks, Vinnie.